Hey everyone, welcome back to ACCA Wiz. In this lesson, we're covering Chapter 11, Quantitative Techniques, one of the most practical areas in performance management. These techniques help managers turn raw data into smart business decisions. Chapter 11 focuses on the analytical tools used to measure, predict, and improve performance, from cost estimation to forecasting trends. Learning objectives. Here's what you'll master. Separating fixed and variable costs with the high-low method. Applying correlation, regression, and time series analysis. Understanding Wright's law and the learning curve. Using both algebraic and tabular approaches. And learning how to use interpolation and extrapolation sensibly. Finally, we'll review their pros and cons. Overview of quantitative techniques. Quantitative techniques mean using numerical data for planning and forecasting. The four main tools are high-low analysis, regression and correlation, time series analysis, and the learning curve model. Together, they allow businesses to interpret costs, trends, and efficiency improvements. High-low method purpose and formula. The high-low method splits a mixed cost into its fixed and variable parts. We take two data points, the highest and the lowest levels of activity, and calculate. Total cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost times activity level. It's quick and ideal when only minimal data is available. Steps in high-low analysis. First, identify the highest and lowest activity levels. Second, compute variable cost per unit equals change in cost divided by change in activity. Third, derive fixed cost equals total cost, less variable cost times activity. Finally, use y equals a plus bx to forecast costs for any activity level. It's a simple but powerful first step in cost analysis. Advantages and limitations. The high-low method is fast and easy to apply, but because it uses only 2 points, it can be distorted by abnormal data and assumes that activity is the only factor driving cost. Learning curve and Wright's law. Now, let's move to the learning curve. Wright's law says, as cumulative output doubles, the average time per unit falls by a fixed percentage. This happens because people and processes improve with experience. Formula: y equals a times x to the power of b, where b equals the log of r over the log of 2, and r is the learning rate. A equals time for first unit and x equals cumulative units. So an 80% learning rate means each time output doubles, average time drops to 80% of the previous level. Algebraic and tabular approaches. Two ways to apply it. The algebraic approach uses the formula for direct calculation, great for fast exam work. The tabular approach lists each doubling of output to show how average and total time change. Both lead to the same learning effect, but one is numeric while the other is visual. Tabular example. Here's a simple illustration. First unit takes 100 hours at an 80% learning rate. 2 units, 80 hours each. 4 units, 64 hours. 8 units, 51.2 hours. Total time increases, but average time per unit falls. That's efficiency gained through learning. Limitations of learning curves. Learning curves work mainly in labor-intensive or repetitive work. Learning stops once a steady state is reached. External factors like staff turnover or new technology can reset the curve. Steady state. The steady state is the point where no further time savings occur. This value is used for long-term forecasting and setting realistic standards. Applications of learning effect. Managers use learning analysis for labor budgeting, pricing new contracts, setting standard costs, forecasting cash flows, and tracking productivity improvement. Regression basics. Regression analysis finds the line of best fit between two variables. Equation: y equals a plus bx, where is the intercept and b is the slope. It predicts future costs or revenues and uses all data points instead of just 2, making it more accurate than high or low. Linear regression explains the straight-line relationship between two variables. We write it as y equals a plus b times x. Y is the dependent variable, x is the independent variable, a is the intercept or fixed cost, and b is the slope or variable rate. B is found by comparing changes in x and y, and a equals the average of y minus b times the average of x. It helps predict costs from activity. Regression limitations. Regression assumes a straight-line relationship and can be skewed by outliers. Forecasts weaken outside the sample, and correlation never proves causation. Always support it with business judgment. Interpolation and extrapolation. Interpolation estimates values within known data, for example April sales between March and May. Extrapolation extends beyond known data, like forecasting next year's sales. Use only if the trend is stable. Correlation analysis. Correlation shows how strongly two variables move together. The coefficient are ranges from -1 to +1. Positive means they increase together. Negative means they move opposite, and 0 means no link. Scatter plots help visualize this relationship. Time series purpose and components. Time series data records values over time to forecast future behavior. It has 4 components: trend, long-term direction, seasonal, short-term patterns, cyclical, business cycles, and random, unpredictable variations. Understanding these lets managers separate consistent patterns from noise. Additive model. Used when variations are constant. Formula: y equals t plus s plus c plus r. Example: trend 100, seasonal plus 20, random -5, total 115. Here each component adds to the final value. Multiplicative model. Used when variations change proportionally with the trend. Formula: y equals t times s times c times r. If trend equals 100, seasonal equals 1.2, random equals 0.9, then y equals 108. This model fits data where seasonal effects grow as business expands. Finding seasonal variations. To calculate seasonal factors, find the moving average for trend, compare actual values to that trend, average those ratios for each season, and apply them to future forecasts. Time series pros and cons. Advantages: reveals trends and seasonality for planning. Limitations: relies on historical data and assumes patterns continue, so sudden shifts can mislead forecasts. Comparison of techniques. High-low is fast but rough. Regression is accurate but assumes linearity. Time series predicts trends but needs stable data. Learning curve shows realistic improvement but is complex. Each has a different purpose, and together they build a complete forecasting framework. Conclusions and controllability. Quantitative techniques enhance planning and control, but managers should never rely on numbers alone. Use data to support, not replace, judgment. Under the principle of controllability, assess managers only on factors they can influence, for example, production efficiency, not sales volume. Recap and key takeaways. We've seen how high-low splits costs, regression and correlation analyze relationships, learning curves show efficiency gains, and time series predicts patterns. All help forecast costs and performance, guiding better managerial decisions. This chapter pulls all the quantitative techniques together into one view of data-driven management. Mastering them builds a solid foundation for ACCA Performance Management in your career in finance. If this lesson helped you understand the logic behind these techniques, hit the like button and subscribe to ACCA Wiz. Turn on the bell so you never miss our next chapter breakdown and exam tips. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next session.